I must escort Martin to the Elder Council chamber in the Imperial Palace. Formally present his claim to the Septim Throne. I sort of feel like this is a travel we probably should just do by actual travel. No one else comes. Okay. That seems a little bit risky, but I'm not the leader of the Empire, so I guess he knows better than I am. And he's low as hell too. So this just seems wrong. Unless they're gonna ambush us constantly on the way to the Imperial City, it's gonna be also ridiculous when we... Well, let's see. Still think it might be better this way. Rather, I'm interested in seeing how it works this way. Is something abnormal gonna happen? Are you, yeah, he's not gonna be able to die either. I'll maintain a clan fear constantly, so if we encounter a fight, it'll probably spur to attack the enemy. Gives us a distraction from the Emperor. Why is he so slow? I'll recast the clan peer before it runs out of time. Basically, so no matter at what point something odd happens, it'll have about 15-20 seconds time to actually do something. Not gonna do anything too fancy here. Can I buy him a horse? Would like a horse, wouldn't you? A little bit of a pony for you.
Hello there. Are you looking for a horse? Bruma's paint horses are the toughest. You won't regret it. Humulus will have your new...
He can't use a horse, can he?
He's been fed and well rested for you.
We should go to the imperial... Lead on.
Yeah, I can't command him to use the horse. I'm certainly not gonna use the horse. It'll just slow down my reaction times. If anything happens, I need to act. I can't. I'll take at least a couple of seconds to get off the horse, watching the animations. So it'll just be a shit situation for me. You're still waiting here for what exactly? Bandit. Probably. Well, I guess this could be one of those, it's the last thing they predict will do, so they don't see it coming. One man escorting the Emperor in full regalia or in the wilderness. I mean, what the hell are the Blades gonna do in the Cloud Ruler Temple? Practice to protect the Emperor. He isn't an incompetent fighter. Uses spells, uses physical attacks. Has a magic weapon, I'm pretty sure. Always just afraid that he's not level scale, so there's no telling how good he actually is compared to the enemies. He's probably okay against scripted, placed enemies. Terrible against automatically leveled enemies. The bandits nearby. Which route are we gonna take? Because we're gonna use the main entrance. I don't feel appropriate swimming across the lake. There's the road. The road isn't that long. That's Oblivion Gate, though. Right. Working fairly well. Plan here attack the dray truck, so it'll buy us time to escape. Right, it's not that much of a trip to the bridge. very close to patrolled areas too, so I don't expect a huge amount of trouble here. Once we get there, that's pretty much game over. Getting close. Looks like the game doesn't really have surprises left for us, so we would have quick traveled at least closer to this, if not directly the center of the city. Gotta be hot running in all that fur.
Well met.
Well met indeed. I'm actually surprised we haven't met any kind of a trolls or guards at any point. We're detecting enemies. Probably fish in the water, but who the hell knows. Plus your... What are you smelling? Don't tell me it's a mud crab. What is it? Where are we going? What the hell did you people smell? We do have to end the Oblivion crisis, so couldn't this wait like 5 minutes? I have no fucking idea what the hell he's doing. Ah, he noticed something there. Okay, now I can see. Now I can see the logic. It is very illogical, but it's almost computer logic. You notice something under the bridge here. He's not gonna go follow us until he kills it, so we might as well rush to kill it. It's a mud crab, probably. Yeah. maybe multiple. Nope. I'm very disappointed in you, Martin. Right, we should be able to pretty much move directly to the center after we enter the city. First proper guardsman.
What is it, citizen? Speak.
Hi. Sire, Chancellor Akato is expecting you. He had word of your arrival in the capital.
Very well. Let's finish this.
Greetings, Imperial.
Bruma has been saved! It's true! Let's see how the Daedra do without their big siege machine. Welcome to the Imperial Palace.
We have arrived in the Elder Council chamber. I must formally present Martin's claim to Chancellor Okato, head of the Elder Council.
I've been expecting you. The full council has already considered the matter of Martin's claim to the Imperial throne in detail. Martin Septim, on behalf of the Elder Council, I accept your claim to the Imperial
Chancellor
throne.
Okato!
We should...
Chancellor Okato, the city is under attack. Oblivion gates have opened and Daedra are inside the walls. The guard is overwhelmed.
Courage, soldier. We have an emperor again. Your Highness, what are your orders? Shall the guard fall back to the palace?
No. If we let ourselves get besieged in the palace, we're doomed. We must get to the Temple of the One immediately.
As you command, sire. Guards, form up and protect the Emperor. To the Temple of the One.
The Imperial City is under attack. Oblivion gates have opened all over the city and Daedra are pouring out. I must escort Martin safely to the Temple of the One where he can light the dragon fires, close the Oblivion gates and save the city. There are too many people here. Very hard to just
Take me down.
do anything. Too many targets. He can actually die. That's interesting. Where are we going?
That's the best you can do. I fly for the Empire.
Kato is gone. Unconscious, really.
I fought my friends more easily.
Walker is very hard to heal. Where exactly are we going, by the way? Technically there, I guess. I need to fight everything here. Maroon's Dagon is here. The barriers between Oblivion and Tamriel have been destroyed. Our only hope now is to somehow defeat Maroon's Dagon and cast him back into Oblivion, as Martin will know what to do. I'm not actually in too much trouble. However, he can't also do all that much. He's staggered so much. But this is a never-ending stream of things. Why isn't he doing anything? What the fuck happened to Emperor? Seriously, where the hell is he?
We're too late. Mehrunes Dagon is here. Lighting the dragon fires will no longer save us. The barriers that protected us from Oblivion are gone.
Can we cast him back into Oblivion?
I don't see how. Mortal weapons may hurt him, but now that he is physically here in Tamriel, they have no power to actually destroy him.
So what about the Amulet of Kings?
Wait, yes. The amulet was given to mortals by Akatosh. It contains his divine power. But how to use this power against Dagon? The amulet was not intended as a weapon. I have an idea, one last hope. I must reach the Dragonfires and the Temple of the One.
But you said it was no use.
You'll just have to trust me. I know now what I was born to do, but I'll need your help. I have to get past Mehrunes Dagon somehow.
I'll get you to the temple.
Then I'll do the rest. Lead on, my friend. I'm with you.
And this may went in a weird way, because he never originally followed us to the correct section of the map. He's fairly well protected from magic. Even healing him can be a pain in the ass. Some of the Legion guys are still alive. Where did the Blades and everyone else go? There. Oh god, that took a long time.
The palace is cut off, sire.
I don't think we want to stay and fight any longer than absolutely necessary. That's it, I'm escorting here. Right, I think this is our best defense, really. Ignore the fighting, it's a never-ending fight.
I do what I must do. I cannot stay to rebuild Tamriel. That task falls to others. Farewell. You've been a good friend in the short time that I've known you. But now I must go. The dragon waits. The amulet is shattered. Dagon is defeated. With the dragon's blood and the amulet of kings, we have sealed the gates of Oblivion. Forever. The last of the Septims passes now into history. I go gladly, for I know my sacrifice is not in vain. I take my place with my father, and my father's fathers. The Third Age has ended, and a new age dawns. When the next Elder Scroll is written, you shall be its scribe. The shape of the future, the fate of the Empire. These things now belong to you.
What happened? Where's Martin? I must congratulate him. Mehrunes Dagon is defeated. Cast back into Oblivion. We've won!
Martin is gone.
What do you mean, gone? We saw the temple dome explode. The avatar of Akatosh appear. That was Martin?
Yeah, he shattered the amulet.
The joined blood of kings and gods. The amulet of kings. The divine power of Akatosh.
And Martin's blood.
Then Martin is gone.
But the gates are sealed.
Yes, sealed forever. Mehrunes Dagon and his ilk can never threaten Tamriel again. Martin is dead, but he died an emperor and a hero to rival Tiber Septim.
What about the Empire?
This victory is not without cost. We've lost Martin Septim. What an emperor he might have made. His sacrifice was necessary, but it leaves the Empire without an emperor. I don't know what happens now. There are troubled times ahead for the Empire. But now is not the time to worry about the future. Let's just give thanks that we're alive! I know he's gone. As the Chancellor of the Elder Council, my concern now is how to choose his successor. We are now the stewards of the Empire. We can hold the Empire together in the short term. But to be honest, I don't know what will happen. The provinces have been restive for years, even before the latest crisis. With no legitimate claimant for the Dragon Throne, troubled times lie ahead. In my capacity as Lord High Chancellor of the Elder Council, I hereby proclaim you Champion of Cyrodiil. And, as a small token of gratitude for your service to the Empire, I have ordered a suit of Imperial Dragon armor made for you.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Imperial Dragon armor is normally worn only by the Emperor himself, but you deserve no less, champion.
It's not like you have an emperor.
The dragon will stand forever as a memorial to what you and Martin did for all of Tamriel.
Is it any good? Wait. Don't really see anything that weighs anything. Does not have weight. No, I just don't see. Don't see anything like that.
Hail! You have earned the highest rank. It is a high honor. Only 6 other champions have been awarded in the history of the Empire. Imperial Dragon armor is not any.
Imperial Dragon armor. Can I give alphabetical order, please? There is no such thing. So he didn't have it here at least. And you could have just happily continued playing after the end.
Believe it's over. That giant demon, the dragon, what happened? Have we won? Fine greetings to you.
Hail! Imperial Dragon armor is normally. You. Anytime, champion.
So how do you get it? Imperial Dragon armor. There is nothing starting with I in my inventory. Not at least in the armor section. Not in any sections, really. So I have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. A quest, all the quests should be there. Chancellor Okado has ordered to the blah blah blah. I rendered to the Empire during the Oblivion crisis. Will be waiting for me at the armor of the Imperial Legion combat in 2 weeks. Where is that? I think we're just basically waiting 2 weeks now. See what comes out of that. I'm curious to see what it is. I might as well talk about the game because I'm certainly not gonna continue playing after this. I think everything's the same. There might be a couple of discussion topics and things like that, and there are no new Oblivion gates. But everything else is the same, so you can play the main plot line much earlier than I did. I think it would be in many ways preferable. Because once you're at this level, the NPCs are no match for the hostile NPCs they have to counter. So it'll be, I think, the easier the lower level you are, in many ways. There might be an exception to that, like if you can't really actually do anything.
I can't believe it's you standing here next to me.
He just passed on to another dimension. Whatever. We need 2 weeks. Okay, about the game itself. It's fine. Actually, quick travel might be a faster way to do this. The game is fine. The combat is not good though. From the enemy AI, enemy combat animation. Yeah, I'm a vampire. Yeah. Whatever. Anything combat related, and it has problems. It's not all bad by any means. It's fine in most parts, but it is not great. You do not want to play this game for the combat really. It is not the strong part. A lot of the standard and specialty quests are the strong part of this. Much stronger than I say in many other Elder Scrolls games. Improvement over Morrowind in the sense that quite often they're a little bit better built in how you play them. So it's not some kind of a goddamn mystery how to even go to the place where you're supposed to find the quest. So there are some conveniences added to things, and I think they're very well needed. But at the same time, it's not quite so streamlined as in Skyrim, where there's you're hard pressed to find a lot of good quests. Quite often they're the worst types of go somewhere, kill everything. This game has a fair share of those too, and they're not the strong part. I can't imagine playing in a way where those encounters would be enjoyable really for a in the long term. I mean, they're sort of fine when your level is low, but I think around 20, so character level 20 was the threshold where everything takes a metric ton of damage to take down, no matter who it is. Regular goblins disappeared entirely. There were warlords and shamans only. Everything is using glass or Daedric gear, ebony here and there. It doesn't work anymore. The sort of combat balance might be the best around between level 5 and 15. It doesn't work all that well at the low levels, but that's because you don't know how to do anything. At the same time, it doesn't really work at the high level because there's no point in any of the fighting. You can't goddamn die, and even if you can't, it can take a huge amount of effort to kill anything because their hit point pools just keep growing and growing and growing, and your damage does not grow anymore. Hasn't grown in a long time. So even though the game is supposed to scale to you to a great extent, it doesn't. Because you don't scale really. You have very limited range of scaling. But the game keeps scaling and scaling and scaling, even though your capabilities have stopped developing. And it doesn't work. You basically, as a player, have to design your character in a way that it's interesting and challenging to play during those levels that you want to develop. Then you have to have the means of stopping development, or you'll end up in the same problem I was. Just massively high-level enemies with amazing gear, constantly, non-stop. Friendly NPCs are totally outmatched against them. They don't get the equipment boosts, at least. They might get hit points, but hit points alone are not enough. So it all breaks down. So even though it's a massively forceful and blatant level scaling system, the funny thing about it is that it doesn't even guarantee the thing it wants you to guarantee, that you always are sort of appropriately matched to the enemy. It's too blunt and crude to be able to do that. So not only is it sort of disgusting to experience while playing, because it breaks immersion in a game world. You're not sort of an adventurer coming into a game world, learning how it works, getting better at it, getting new skills, and climbing further and further toward the top of the food chain there, adjusting to the game world to become better at it, and finally sort of triumphant. That never happens. The game world exists there for you, and it changes drastically as your character levels up, and that's shit. That's it works against everything else that the game tries to create with the fantastic environments and every kind of other feel and immersion it tries to build. Crude level scaling destroys that, or at the very least harms it in a critical way. You're constantly reminded that you're playing a game, you're playing a game, you're playing a game. So it doesn't really work. And the thing is, it's not god-awful piece of shit. It needs fine-tuning, like giving a set limits of where a goblin is, making sure that every time you encounter a goblin, there's only a certain percentage of goblins that can be warlords and certain percentage that can be shaman. The vast majority will always be goblin. So the player has a capability of becoming so powerful that goblins are truly below him, no matter what. At some point they just can't scale to him. Maybe they have a leader that will always scale to him to some extent, but everything else at some point will scale at the early stage. Warlord and Shaman can still match in the middle of the game portion, but only few or even none can match at the later stage. So certain bandits are just bandits. They will never get the best gear no matter what. And there will always be limits to how far they can scale level-wise. Same with every monster. You can have a handful of hand-picked or placed characters, enemies that scale fully to the enemy every time. But not most of them. Only a few. Everything else you want to have a minimum level and a maximum level, minimum gear, minimum abilities, maximum abilities, and that's it. And it would work massively better. That's all you had to do. Nothing else you'd have to change, and it would work much, much better. But the game doesn't do it. It's still shit. I don't recall was it this good when it first came out, but this isn't good. I more or less recall that this is corresponds with what I recall more or less about the game the first time I played it. It just doesn't work. Not at all. Right, the armor is ready. I'm a bit vampirish at this moment, so I need to go and feed on people. Otherwise, I don't think I can interact with people anymore. I still might be. Still, I'm switching to stealth gear. I'll feed some blood. Ooh. He escaped. How dare he? Where can I pick it up? I'll go to market district. Suck up some blood. And wait until tomorrow. Surely someone lives in here. It's a bit early in the evening though. Vampirism, vampire attributes, vampire skills, Reign of Terror ability. The shops probably don't have any people in them.
Hey, good evening. Have you shopped at the Gilded Carafe?
75. I'm taking sun damage now. Right. So it's actually a fairly lengthy time where you can ignore that. This is not a shop, so I'm guessing the woman here might actually sleep here. Do I go back to the start or just, yeah. So, I won't be taking sun damage. I want to say this game is okay. It still has strong points besides the quest, and spells are one of them. Because granted there are better spells and worse spells, but it allows you to build things in different ways. If I want to play a mage in Skyrim, for example, I have the spells I have and there's nothing else I can do. I can't try to build something clever or trickery using really. I have the set of spells and that's it. I can't destroy the opponent's armor, I can't really burden them. I can't try to do something clever with the specialty enchantments. It's streamlined to the point that the gameplay it provides is also massively more limiting. That said, if you're not going to build up something special, it doesn't really matter. Not really. It just doesn't. If you're going to blast things with lightning bolts and things like that, use your standard spells that you can basically buy, then it's pretty much the same. It's a nice looking armor. I don't think it actually has any specialty stats. Magic resistance 11%. Probably has magic resistance all around, but This hasn't been useful in ages. It's just rubbish. So I don't know if I have final words for this game. It's not like it's a pain to play through. I complained about closing the Oblivion gates at the end, and that got tedious. But at that point you can also just fairly quickly run them, so... it's an hour of your time down the drain basically. And I wish they would have solved that in different ways. Couple of Oblivion gates, sure. Maybe Oblivion gates that have influenced the situation. A different type of quest, political intrigue. Maybe some count just basically is a selfish asshole and tries to play himself into some sort of position, allow the others to do the sacrifices so they're in a better position afterwards. So you have to do some convincing or plotting to get everyone on board that yeah, this is a situation where either we stand together now or there's not gonna be anything else to worry about. Anything besides doing another Oblivion Gate run. But. The problem I have with this, sort of putting my finger on the pulse where I stand on this, is because I do enjoy quite a lot of the quests. A lot of them are quite nice. The problem is you sort of have to go through a lot of trash to get to them. The rubbish fighting and things like that. Unless you're a stealth character or an invisibility spell wizard, you're going to have to do it. There's no getting around it. You don't know where the quests are, the good quests, the interesting quests. You have to talk to a ton of people, explore and all that. But there's not much to do there. You can pick up alchemical ingredients and that's it. That's pretty much it. Somehow Skyrim does this better. I don't know. It doesn't feel that much of a chore to do it. But I don't really know why. Thinking about it, the housing system isn't any better unless you buy the expansion DLC. And that's somewhat just better because you can make your own house, build it, choose some options to it. But ignoring that, it's pretty much the same as here. I don't know. The immersion feels better. Could be because the level scaling is done differently. Could be because the interactions are a little bit more naturally built. I can't figure out one thing that would be the deciding factor, but it feels like the regular gameplay in Skyrim is just stronger. The quests as an overall evaluation are just weaker though. But it's not like they're all terrible. I feel the ratio of rubbish to good stuff is lower, higher in Skyrim than in this game. This has rubbish, but the number of good quests and interesting quests are higher. But the lackluster regular gameplay and fighting and all that just hinders things, brings the score down in my book. I wouldn't hear just playing around randomly doing God knows what all. This is tedious in this. In Skyrim, I find enjoyment out of that. Even in that, there are things always to do that are interesting enough. But at the same time, much more limiting in in the options you have. So the only real criteria I can use to differentiate between these is how much fun I had playing them. And I don't like Oblivion as much. And I don't think it's because the engine is older, it doesn't look quite so nice. That affects initial impressions for me, but I don't care anymore. It's been basically the norm for me for a long time already here. It doesn't bring the score down. But it's a fact that the vast majority of gameplay is always this. You just screwing about, killing enemies, exploring. And in this game, it's just not as good as in Skyrim. So this might have better highlights, but the vast majority of regular tasks is subpar compared to Skyrim. Skyrim doesn't have all that many peaks, high peaks as far as questing is concerned, but the bread and butter of activities and immersion you do is better quality. So in an overall game where you play 100, 200, 300 hours, or God knows how long, it provides for a more enjoyable overall gaming experience. But I can see how Skyrim, for a person who basically just does quests and doesn't bother with the rest, I think Skyrim would be a worse game. Because I'm trying to think of the main plot line there, and it looks spectacular here and there, but there's not much there, not really. And there aren't that many interesting other quests besides a handful of quests. Here there are plenty of interesting. Going into paintings with painted trolls, things like that, and you just have nothing comparable in Skyrim really. It still was an enjoyable game for me, so I'd say this is a good game, but I would play this for the quests maybe a second time with a very specialized characters, but I have zero interest in the vast majority of sites and content the game offers. They're not all that fun to play. They're trash. They're there if you need to get some experience for a character or money for a character, but I would never ever in a million years want to play them again. I didn't want to play them in the first time for the majority of parts. So, but still, it was an okay, enjoyable experience for the most part.